offering solutions that will benefit humanity. Let's go through the headlines. Child assault, father defies daughters. Police brutality, man assaulted and left in coma. NDLEA agency seizes Lagos club over drug party. And social media, man arrested for calling for a coup. We are open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placement, news and events coverage, personality, society, and political interviews, product service promotion, and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We are also on Avo TV channel 205, Limex TV platform, Ifestec platform, Apple TV, Ninja TV, and Iroko TV. Connect with us on all our ATN socials. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. You can find us on X on Atlantic TV Net. We'll go on a break. When we get back, I'll introduce my guests and we'll dive right into the discuss. Please stay with us. back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Here with me in the studio to dive into those reports is Stephen Akarika. He's a public affairs analyst. We're so glad to have you join us. Good day to you. Let's go right into the discourse. Enugu State government has confirmed the arrest of a 35-year-old man, Mr. Ozioma Okonkwo, for allegedly defiling his two biological daughters, aged 2 and 5. The suspect, a native of Imo State residing in Enugu, was apprehended following a distress report from a concerned citizen. Authorities say the arrest was made on a Saturday night after a coordinated police operation. The suspect is currently in custody and will be charged to court after investigations are concluded. The two victims have been taken to a government-approved shelter where they are receiving medical treatment and psychosocial care. Their mother, reportedly traumatized by the event, is also undergoing therapy under the supervision of the ministry's counseling team. The Enugu State government commended the police for their swift intervention and reiterated its zero-tolerance stance on sexual and gender-based violence. Officials pledged that offenders will face the full weight of the law. The Commissioner for Children, Gender and Social Development condemned the act as a heart-wrenching and unacceptable crime against innocence, assuring residents that justice will be served. What will make a father find his children attractive, more or less minors? Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on this report?
Atara, it's so barbaric, so demonic that come to think of it. These kids, they are kids. They are minors.
It's toddlers, yes.
So what is the attraction in there? If they may be up to 15, 18, 20 per se, I'm not saying it's right anyway, but at least it would have. But look at their age, 2 years and 5 years. They're pretty minor. So what is the attractiveness in it? And that is where I see that is that the act is barbaric, is demonic, because a sane man, a sane person will not adventure into such. Now you are going into such and your two daughters at a time. It is fermented. It's appalling, and thank God for the law enforcement agents for taking swift action into it. But I believe and I pray that this shouldn't be swept under the carpet. Despite the fact that I know the mother of these kids, she's passing through a traumatic time based on the effect, and there's some things one will wish that it does not happen to someone, and maybe let it happen in a movie, and let's just say, okay, it's film tricks. Then it's happening in your doorsteps at your own disposal, and that's why she is totally traumatized and seeing it as no. Why would my husband adventure into this? Why? And why will it even happen to my daughters at a go? Not just one daughter. The both daughters being defiled. Terror is demonic.
The role of a father is usually to protect, to oversee.
Okay. Right?
To be sure that his offsprings and everyone around him is kept safe and secure from prying eyes, of outsiders, of wicked people. Now, when this case shows a father having intentionally done this to his minors, right? In time past, certain family structures would be, husband, hold the children while I go to the market, or husband, stay with the children while I go, over to do ABCD thing, right? If we are now having rise to cases like this, what is the future for partnerships in marriage?
Otara, issues like this, to me, should not showcase. Because I could recall those days, parents at leverage, fathers at leverage to, okay, you go, most of the time, some fathers do the school runs, whereby you go pick up the child and all that. Or maybe you are home, okay, you take care of the kids. Maybe if those days we were using napkins before it emanated to diapers and all that. Right. So now looking at this revolution, that came into play. So will one now say that as a mother you cannot comfortably leave your daughter or your daughters in the hands of your lawful husband, which is the father of the child, the biological father of the child, and then it is so demonic. I believe whichever way that this came into play, whether through a killer eye or a spiritual attack, or I don't believe in spiritual things anyway, because if it was a spiritual attack and you were sent on such mission, why didn't the spiritual attack not tell you, okay, that you should also do it to yourself, okay? And so I don't believe that in a clear scene whereby one did something wrong and you are pushing it into what a spiritual attack because of maybe in the name of fame or no. It is really no. This is a clearing a purposeful act that I believe the law should take its course duly, and it should serve as a dictator to others.
Right. So thank you so much. Now the federal government did sign a bill I think it was 2 weeks ago, for child sexual offenders to get the life imprisonment sentence for abuse, right? And on many quarters, there has been several viewpoints as regards that particular bill. Now, for this man, and according to what the law stands, that's going to be life imprisonment if, of course, it moves forward as it should to get to that point. But then, do you think this man being completely put away for life, if we get there, will in any way heal this trauma that has been inflicted on these children and on their mother?
I believe the law, justice is justice. Justice should not be maneuvered. Should not be for the sake of the dad even adventuring to this. Should know that you have deferred your children for life, and not that someone inflicted the pains to you or to your and to your kids, but you are the one that have inflicted these pains on these children, and you've defiled them at a very tender age, and you facing the law and facing the law the way the law should be. It is not going back. It is a way forward, because to also serve as a deterrent for others that will see this and maybe will look at the law and say, if I adventure into this, it's not just going to be a 2 years or a 5 years or a 10 years imprisonment. It is what? Jail for life. And it's really, it is, to me, I believe and I feel is a way forward. It's a good one. He should face the law, and the law should have its course. Then for that of the mother, she should, if the law apprehends the father and is being sentenced to life imprisonment, she should take her and take her with her kids, because coming to play, because there's even after this, even if the law does not, okay, let's say the law, okay, let's say the law, okay, maybe there's no law like this, maybe two, for example, he was sentenced 2 years imprisonment, and the same man comes in to this woman and they are still husband and wife, which, what will be the eyes, what look will the wife look at her husband, maybe even when they are making out, and say, this is the same man who have defiled my kids, and this is the same man that is now answerable to as a husband, and you still be making out with your wife. No, then it is no wrong. So he should face the law appropriately.
Right. Now, thank you so much. But because this is not an isolated case, but I think it was around early in the year when we had when I had the guests from FIDA come on the show, where they talked about a child in River State whose dad waits for her to come back from one of the government-owned mission schools, and when she comes home, every day he unjustly has relations with this girl that was in SS1 at the time. And because of the situation, she doesn't want to go back home after school every day. And before she eventually got through to it, to be able to talk to someone about it, and it got to feed her. And, the people in charge of the case did come on the show at that point in time and talked about it. Right. There was a case of another man that had his daughters arguing amongst themselves. There was animosity in their household because one would say, oh, what, Daddy, why is she the one you're always, being with more than the way you be with me? Now, when you look at these cases and the way they evolve, there was another one in Lagos about a man that actually had, molested, as it were, abused his children, a boy and a girl also. Several cases come to mind when I see, this situation. So it shows that this is not an isolated case. But why is it now on the rise? This is incest and it's a crime in Nigeria. Why is it now on the rise, especially this with minors now?
That's the reason I said that this should serve as a deterrent. Since the government have apprehended him, they should ensure, total ensurement, that he face the law. Since he's a life imprisonment, he should face it judiciously. He should face the law. There should not be a part at which he maybe in time to come, maybe he is released, is on bail. No, he should face the law to where it is life imprisonment. So others, so the rise would not, there won't be a rise of such again. So that's my humble opinion. So since he's in it, thank God the law enforcement agents have apprehended him. He's in their custody. He should face the law appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insight on that report. We head to Lagos State, where Police Command has arrested 3 inspectors accused of brutally assaulting a 22-year-old man, Jacob Sunday, leaving him in a coma inside the 22 PMF barracks in Ugudu. According to reports obtained by security analyst Zagazola Makama, the assault took place around 6 p.m. on Tuesday. The 3 officers, Inspector John Alom of 63 PMF Ikorodu, Inspector Sunday Adoga of CTU Base 2 Ikeja, and Inspector Jehovah Usman of 22 PMF Ikeja, allegedly lured Jacob into their room under false pretenses before unleashing a vicious attack. Jacob, who is the son of Inspector Sunday Ochekbo, was accused of having an affair with Sarah Richard, the wife of ASP Audu Richard, another resident of the barracks. The confrontation reportedly escalated when the officers decided to teach him a lesson, stripping him naked and beating him until he lost consciousness. He was later rescued by detectives and rushed to the police college Cottage Hospital in Ikeja, where he remains in critical condition. Lagos Police Command officials have confirmed that the 3 officers are now in custody pending the outcome of an internal investigation. The incident has renewed calls for accountability within the police force and raised questions about the culture of impunity and violence that continues to plague some law enforcement officers. Wow, this is a whole lot of situation, coming up from this barracks. What are your thoughts on this report? It comes in 2 angles. We have the angles of abuse of power. We have the angle of, adultery. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on this report?
Atara, let's start from the part of abuse of power. Okay. I feel the Nigerian police should firstly be reorientated. Not just, I think maybe to the level they must have gone through some level of orientation. Okay. At their beck and call. But I believe with the mishaps and the happenings that have been surrounding them, yeah. I think they need to be reorientated in the sense that I feel in the Nigerian situation, we should have gone past this level of issues erupting in this way. So from the IG of police down to, he should infect it down to his commissioner of police, down to the least corporal in the Nigerian police force, that laws shouldn't be taken for for granted. Laws should be taken to one side and abuse, total abuse of power. In the aspect whereby you beat up, you just on one. It happens intermittently on the streets. It happens on the streets in Nigeria. It is not just happening in the barrack. Let's say within the barrackhood. No, it is happening in the streets whereby the police, whereby the gun and the uniform stands as a weapon for intimidation. No, that shouldn't be the case in Nigeria. So the IG of police should sound a restrictive warning, and persons like this should not just be maybe internal. I grossly disapprove and disagree with such notion of internal investigation when it comes to issues like this, and it will now be within the coffers, and maybe at the end it will be swept under the carpet. No, such notions should not rise. It should be glaring that Officer A has been proven guilty and is facing the law duly. And in times to come, years to come, we will find out that he or she is facing the law duly, and not that because he or she is maybe is a friend to one of the commissioners or to the IG, also someone who is a retired, and for that personnel. For that reason, it has been swept off. No, the law should take its course duly. And this, on the part of the adulteral case, it is really disheartening. And if fully caught on the scene, because my concern these days is that, like a scenario that I called yesterday, and when we would say this so-called rumor, I am really against it. There should be a full-brain assertion or that he or she was caught in the act, and maybe even if it is an adulterous act, we have the Nigerian judiciary. The law is there. So there's no part of we taking the law into hands. And this intermittent recurrence of series of adulteries and all that roaming around this, it boils down to our past days in the Nigerian situation, whereby we enjoyed communalism, whereby we had some rights and passage in the system, whereby you don't attempt this. Even in the Bible, it is written that this is covetousness. What is not yours, someone has paid for this, and paid a bride price, and he's legally married. She's legally married, and you are going while he is still fully alive. You're going to no. It is demonic. Is bad. So on that part, that's why I say this so-called modernity and civilization has placed a knife to that which we hold sacred. In those days, we don't have this on the rise, whereby you have situations whereby adultery, although I know one will want to ask and say, was it not recorded in the Bible of the adulterous woman? Well, that is of the biblical allusion. So, but in the African setting, in the African milieu, in the African environment, then this was not on the rise, and we had issues, cases whereby if this even attempts to happen, we have banishment, we have laws that have been taken. So right. The Nigerian law should look into this vehemently to make sure that things like this are not being swept. Things like this does not occur intermittently, does not occur regularly, and the hike of it, it's not in the. They should be eradicated totally. There should be a resounding, strict measure placed in our society to eradicate this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Someone told me a story that happened yesterday. And this story entails a lady that had gone to meet a lady that she suspected was having an affair with her husband. Now, first reaction to the problem was to, try to snatch up the lady, took her phone, poured water on her. Several things happened with, that particular scenario of which I was being briefed on, the event that had happened in that particular place. When you bring it side by side, why do you think, and this is not just for yesterday's case, there are many cases where a partner notices that their, significant other is having an affair. The first approach is usually to turn blame to the person that the partner is seeing. Like in this case, you saw that we saw the officers turn blame to the guy that is seeing the officer's wife, when actively it was the woman in the adultery. Now, there are several mechanisms. We have the civil court to try to, fix such family problems, right? But rather, people resort to using, their hands and using aggressive methods to fix, beating, slapping. Do you think that we should move to a society where, if you suspect me of being with your partner, for example, and you are unable to confront your partner, if you confront me, is that good grounds for me to raise a civil suit against you for, for harassment? Do you think we should move towards that realm in society where, because this guy has been beaten to coma, it might be solved, most likely solved internally, since his father is equally, in service. I mean, do you think that we should move towards an area where people would actually spend real money now trying to bail themselves out of lawsuits just because they want to fight or play God when their partners have affairs?
Otaria, in this system, even in the Aluta system, we have what we call 3 C's, the 3 C's. Firstly, the first C is consultation. Okay. The second C is consolidation. Then before the third and the last C, which is confrontation. Otaria, in an issue like this, you don't jump the first C, the second C, and you're confronting. No. You should consult, ask questions, find out and be sure that your findings are concrete. Then consolidation is, we have we have a lot of enforcement agencies where you can sue. You can talk, but taking the laws into your hands by confronting, like what you just mentioned about the issues whereby going the level of snatching a lady's phone. You did not consult, you did not talk to your partner at home. You did not, the one you have at home, that you would have maybe talked to him and ensure that he desists from such act, or maybe ask him a question. Well, the way I'm seeing, the way I feel, maybe you have intention of going to marrying 2 wives also. If possible, if that's the case, you can go into that. Then this is what you're doing. You did not do that. Now you moved, you left the first C, second C, and you went into confrontation. And if in that place of confrontation something negative had happened, or maybe you that went for confrontation lost your life.
Oh, that happened. That did happen to someone around, I think Monday. It was a triangle. He went to confront the person he thought was with his girlfriend, and sadly he lost his life during the confrontation.
Yes, I heard of such news. So now, okay, imagine that happening, and this same partner will still go ahead in the act. So taking laws into your hands, it is totally wrong. What is bad is bad. Right. There is no partial bad, or there's no partial wrong. Now, you don't have that. The government have not given you that right to take laws into your hands by going to what? Confrontation. You don't confront issues. Okay, no matter the level of grievance. You say he's my husband, she's my wife. No, follow it. We should follow things duly. Let the law take its course. So if at the end you file a civil case, and as such, if the law finds it worthy that person which you filed should be prosecuted, fine and good. But taking it law and you're going to fight now. If this person now that is in coma now, from there passes on, it will not be. It is now a murder case. Right. It has left from adultery. Adultery will also be there. Conspiracy and all that, and murder case. It is now a major case. At the end, it will not be the way you think it. And the same person. Okay, the officer, you left the officer, and you left the officer's wife, and you're going to meet the third person, which and you're confronting them. Okay, maybe the officer's wife, maybe they felt that if they have laid their hands on the officer's wife, the officer will so why all this? And you did not allow the officer to take law into, to even act. You were acting on behalf of him. So why all this? So in the Nigerian situation, you should go. That's why I think I'm also hitting it constantly that the Nigerian constitution should be printed and be shared to Nigerians, even on the streets. Everybody should have a copy, even if possible in our local languages. We should put it in our local languages. We should have a copy, and maybe we should have maybe a day or within a week, whereby in our local languages, even if one is an illiterate, is not well read, you can listen to it and hear it that these are the laws of the country. Because I believe with the recurrence of issues like this, I think some persons are now abreast with the laws of the nation. So and that's why they're taking laws into their hands, and that's why they work mostly. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insight on that report. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has filed a forfeiture suit against Proxy nightclub Victoria Island, Lagos, owned by socialite Mike Onwogu, popularly known as Pretty Mike. The agency said the move followed the raid on the club over the weekend, where operatives arrested more than 100 people during an alleged drug party. NDLEA operatives reportedly monitored the club for 4 hours before storming the premises. They recovered nearly 385 kilograms of Canadian loud and other substances from a storage area within the building. Chairman of the agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, said the club owner brazenly advertised a drug party, warning that such impunity would not be tolerated in the entertainment industry. Marwa cautioned club and hotel owners nationwide that their facilities risk forfeiture if they're used for drug-related offenses. We'll make an example of this particular club in Lagos, he stated. He also highlighted NDLEA's achievements in the past 30 months, including over 45,000 arrests, 9,000 convictions, and the rehabilitation of more than 26,000 drug users. You know, nightlife is usually not as regulated as it should. Most quarters have said, oh, nightlife is not as regulated as it should because, you know, nightlife happens when most of the agencies and authorities have gone to bed. But now this report shows that the praying eyes of agencies are still on club and nightlife. And what are your thoughts on this report? When you weigh it side by side with what is coming up 30 December, let's talk about it.
Otara is a welcome development from that of the NDLA. Okay. I applaud them for such, and if one has an nightclub, I believe those days, even now, nightclubs, there are some restrictions to drug. They give restrictions to drug. You don't take drugs within that environment. Even apart from writing posters on the walls, they also hit it straightly. And if such, they will hit on it. And I believe they also have security personnel that goes around to ensure that these are not being done in nightclubs. Now, going forward, that if such is being organized and it is being termed an adventure, a scenario whereby drugs should be taken, that is totally bad. Whereby maybe the owner of such a center or such event as deemed it fit that he cannot the only thing he can propagate in the system is to ensure that drugs are being taken. He does not think of propagating how to build health centers, how to build schools or how to think of how we sit to think of good thing to do for the betterment of the society. Rather, is to what? Is to engage in selling of drugs, to engage in the intake of drugs. Otara is totally bad. I have frowned against it. It is bad. And I also applaud the NDLEA. They should not also be the only person, the only law enforcement agent in this. I believe even other law enforcement agents should not feel that, okay, because it's not their duty to look at drugs, and even if they find anyone in such milieu doing this, that they should turn their back on it. No. Everybody, all hands must be on deck. Whether you're a force personnel or you're not, whether you're a parent, you are not a parent, so far as you're a human, and you find out that anybody, any citizen is adventuring into drug, please report to the nearest law enforcement agent and ensure that such person is being picked. Because if you go to our psychiatric homes, you see young boys and girls from the age of some 12, minors, 15, 28, you see on drugs, and you wonder, where is this generation going to? And maybe you ask, some will say, it's the so-called Gen Z generation. What has Gen Z generation got to do with drug taking? What has Gen Z generation got to do with social vices? It is totally bad. In fact, there is nothing like Gen Z generation when it comes to illegal take of drugs. There's not like Gen Z generation when it comes to social vices. It is totally wrong. The generation has nothing to do with you misbehaving, you going adventuring into such level of menace. So on this, the NDLA applaud them. Kudos to them. They should do more on their back and they should ensure that this, apart from that, where they find this, if they can also trail around even in the streets at night, I applaud them doing that at night, because I believe most persons feel that at night everybody has gone to bed. Most law enforcement agents, most persons have gone to bed. So on that they can go into what they think they can do. But I applaud these people. Kudos to them. They should continue in these good works that they're doing to ensure that we have a free ambience. We should enjoy the good ambience of our environment, and we should see ourselves as law-abiding citizens, and not see some persons walking on the street as wolves, and while the others are walking as sheep. So it does not tell of a good society. Kudos to the NDLA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, do you think that forfeiting, closure, reclaiming ownership of someone's business, of the taxpayers' business, should be the way to go in handling this case instead of prosecuting the owner of this club? Do you think forfeiture of this property, is within the tenets of what should be done in ridding our society of situations with drugs?
Now, the other big question is, was the owner of this club also right to adventure into such level of menace in the society? But you know fully well that
there were over 100 people in the club.
So
it could have been. Is there a possibility that someone brought this, this drug into the club that night, as opposed to the owner? Now, I'm talking about it from a societal perspective, because every now and then you turn around, you see a business owner, right? And the fact about nightlife is that people are coming to have a good time. People can have a good time with alcohol. There's still a restriction on alcohol intake. I mean, you're not supposed to be intoxicated to drive. Do you understand? There's this clear sign warning for, smokers are liable to die young on the tobacco pack, right? We have all of this telling you that this is the way. But nightlife and entertainment is a thing that is celebrated all over the world. Everybody most people want to go out at night, sit down with their friends, have a nice time after a hard day, of work. Is there a possibility that when someone sets up a business, Proxy is not a new business, it's been in Lagos for a while, the total forfeiture of the entire business, because that drug was found in the business, is the best way to go about it for the future of nightlife?
My concern is, most of these nightlife in this club, they have bouncers, which means they have security. So what level of check and balance did these same persons do at the entrance of this? And apart from that, owning a business, you should be concerned of what is happening in your business environment. Owning a business does not make you to go home and sleep akimbo. You are concerned because you're concerned, and your manager, you should put arsenals on ground to ensure that if you are against this shouldn't be taken into such environment. I won't say because I own a business, and if anything that happens in the business, it happens within your coffers, so you will not be left behind. So closing that place, I for once, I applaud such because it also serves as a data to other club owners to also be careful in the kind of person, be careful of the intake of what is being taken in their clubs.
Right.
Yeah, yes, their eyes now will also be on ground to ensure that such drugs are not being taken in their. So even if they were sleeping, or maybe they showed laissez-faire to their businesses, now they'll be concerned to know that, okay, I'm running such kind of business, so at such I should be fully on ground to ensure that drugs and all kind of drugs like some loud and cocaine and all that are not being taken in my business premises. So you ensure while everything is going on, you're going around, your workers are going around, they're also concerned, because I believe these parcels were not found in their pockets. They were found in the club, because if you had to be in their pockets, maybe the NDLA caught them, because they said they were there for 4 hours. So 4 hours, not 4 minutes. 4 hours is enough to know what is happening there, and maybe they were not there with their uniform, so they were there maybe as customers that came, and they were observing, unknown to them that they felt that they are all customers, not knowing that this person, they have a preview knowledge of what is going on there, and they caught them, and that's why they were apprehended. So shutting down the place is a way forward. It's a welcome development. So other business owners also learn from this, and know that they should be on ground. Their eyes should be on deck to ensure that such things do not, whether in the daytime, at night, midnight, whatever the time, the time is not important, but the concern is that drugs intake, harmful drugs intake shouldn't be found within our firm premises. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insight on that report. So much more to say, but let's move on to our next story. State Security Service has arrested the social media user Innocent Chukwuma for allegedly calling for a military coup in Nigeria. Operatives reportedly tracked him to Oyigbo, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, following a series of posts on X under the handle The Agroman, where he urged the military to suspend the Nigerian government. His account has since been suspended by X, making a statement as the agency no longer engages directly with the media. Chukwuma's arrest comes amid wider concerns over an alleged coup plot reportedly uncovered by intelligence agencies, leading to the detention of more than 20 senior military officers. The renewed discussions about a coup began during the recent End Bad Governance protests, which lasted 10 days and left at least 22 people dead. Some demonstrators were seen waving flags and calling for a military regime. Let's talk about it now. I don't know if you remember the time of the other guy that was still caught in Rivers State. His name just, left my thoughts just now. He stayed in Rivers State here, and he had a strong, I think he was a kind of like a, what they call them, am I going to, there's a name they call them, whistleblower. He said he was a whistleblower, and sometimes he talks about things that had to do with the government, and he was picked up also via tracking. The same way Chukwuma was picked up via tracking down to Oyigbo in River State. You live in River State, so what are your thoughts on this report?
My concern is that in the Nigerian situation, this idea of one shouldn't say anything, even if the going gets tough, everybody should be happy. That nation shouldn't fly. In this same Nigeria, we enjoyed the ambience of when the likes of Fela Kuti, Ransom Kuti, they were alive. Likes of Ransom Kuti, even across the globe. We have people like Ngugi wa Thiong'o. We have people, even Professor Ulensenka. These persons were not just, they were sound activists. They were fully on ground talking about how the government is and the way forward. So coming in a situation whereby one cannot say what is happening, and at your coffers, you're scared of saying the loopholes of the government, or you're scared of saying what you know is around you. Then it's not really a welcome development. So and the recent apprehending of people by the DSS and SSS around based on findings of such, I believe it is an intelligent based detective arm that should be concerned about fact finding. And if, for instance, as I am here, if I've been sent, if I've been sent to pick up somebody, somebody for the fact that he said that this person did not do well. I should look at it. I should look at, if I'm being sent, even if I'm no matter the force, at such, we should, no matter the force, no matter the uniform I wear, I should look at why did this person say this person party A or party B did not do well. I should be concerned in the factuality of such.
Right.
And if party B did not do well and party A is saying party B or did not do well, then I should retrieve my step to tell whoever gave that order. So please, what party A has said is right. Not going to pick up party A because party A have said party B did not do well. No, it is ungodly, it's uncalled for. So we, as humans, we should be concerned about where our nation is.
But you know, in the military, usually in security agencies, an order is an order. But before we wrap up the show, there's another angle of this discussion I want us to talk about. Aisha, the girl that was kidnapped, I think it was last week, and I think this group, Harrison Gwashimu, helped to get her out. I think she paid up to 15 million naira for her to get out of the den of kidnappers. And we have kidnappers showing their faces on the internet. They even go ahead as recording videos of their victims to post it on the internet. Do you think that the focus of chase in Nigeria should be on people, we do have the cybersecurity, the Cybercrime Act, where, of course, you're supposed to be mindful of the kind of things you say online, not to sow in order not to incite or trigger, the public. But that being said, do you think that the focus should be more on what people are saying, or Nigerians that are being kidnapped, extorted, and killed by kidnappers, and most of them go undetected?
But our concern, we should leave the flavoratories and attack what should be. Now, we have, on daily basis, we have people that have been kidnapped, people that have been murdered, people that are in the heart of the terrorist group attacking Boko Haram. These are things that Nigerians the Nigerian system should look into to ensure that the governance of Nigeria should look into to ensure that these things have been stopped. But putting an eyes into on armed Nigerians, which may be just a statement that he or she make, and we're leaving the big issues. I use the word the big issues that could pull down a nation down, and we are now pushing out for it is never a way forward. It is just like what the Gboselisa, what Kofi Owonu affirmed in his poem Songs of Sorrows. He says the Gboselisa has threatened me thus far. It has taken me behind the sharps of the forest. That going back is a great difficulty. I think the Nigerian system should look at not going back, because going back is a great difficulty. So we should forge ahead, and forging ahead, we should look into how Nigeria will not just be 50 years to come, 100 years to come, a developing nation. We should look at how Nigeria can be a developing nation. Should step up to first world country, not where it is now. Because every day we keep roaming around issues that shouldn't be. Even the Bible says, call those things that be not as though they were. We should call things that be not. We should embrace positivehood and not what we are pushing for. Thank you.
Why do you think this intelligence sharing, this sort of, technical know-how, this sort of high-rate capacity used in tracking this young man, why exactly do you think we don't utilize it as much as we should in apprehending bandits and kidnappers in Nigeria?
That is the big issue I mentioned. I said we should, if we have such technical know-how, and Boko Haram has been destroying lives, and we are up to date. They've never, the military personnel, even the Air Force, Navy, Army, they've never been able to apprehend the Boko Haram. Yet, it is an unarmed Nigeria that it is totally disheartening. So the Nigerian security agencies should revamp and rethink and reiterate their footsteps to ensure that the big issues should be their concern and not what should be a preamble. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insight on that report. And this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atlantic Society Watch. Thank you, Stephen Akrika, for coming on the show and giving us good insight.
Thank you so much.
Remember, we are open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product service promotions, and commercials. You can watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We're also on Avo TV channel 205, Limex TV platform, Ifestec platform, Apple TV, Niger TV, and Iruko TV. Connect with us on all our 18 socials. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. We are on X on Atlantic TV Net. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Otaria Babo. Stay with us. Up next is International Tidbits.